So I grew up a mile north of a town of 2,900 people in rural Saskatchewan, and thought I wanted to be a doctor when I was in high school, but my family was all kind of scientific oriented, so I decided to do a degree in political science first, and then did some work and ended up in medical school. And I always thought that I wanted to be rural. I like living rural, I like being rural, and so I actually went into medical school assuming I'd be a rural doc. And a couple of people tried to, a couple of surgeons tried to encourage me to be a surgeon, but I thought about it a bit, but decided no, I wanted the full scope. I didn't want to not be able to attend deliveries and take care of babies and take care of older people and whatever. So I became a rural doc. No, it wasn't a conscious choice. In some ways, it sort of just happened. But I don't think it really just happened either, that I've always been someone who's been willing to speak up when others don't, ask awkward questions at times, that sort of thing. And clearly that sort of brought me to the attention of people that could mentor and encourage me to take some leadership roles. So it wasn't that I, sort of did leadership courses and intentionally moved myself into things. I think the other piece of that is that when opportunities came along, I kind of look at them and go, I hadn't thought of that for me, but hey, I have the skills, why wouldn't I try? So I would say yes to opportunities as well. Barriers in particular for where I worked most of my full-time career was there weren't enough of us. And so, sort of figuring out how to make sure that you had enough time for you and had enough time for the people that were important to you, and also had enough time to do the work that needed to be done. And there were times when I would say that I worked harder than I ever imagined I would have in my life. But I always found ways to sort of pull away. So in those years when we were kind of down to 3 people, I would make sure I found a locum and go away for 4 to 6 weeks minimum, so that I was away from the town, away from work, and could just be who I wanted to be other than Dr. Jill. And so I think we sell an awkward theory, for want of a better way of putting it, that somehow life is balanced. And I don't think this is just for doctors, but that in my own life, I kind of go, well, yeah, there are days when patients are top of the juggle, and then days when it's me, and days when it's my family or my friends, and that in that juggling of things, as long as you're careful not to let go of yourself, you'll find that integration that's necessary to kind of make it so that you're not burning out and that it's still finding joy in work, but you're also there for the people that you care about. I would say, sort of grab onto opportunities. Things that you might not have thought were what, you would never have imagined yourself potentially in that particular position. But if it's in an area that you care about or are passionate about, then go for it. And you think you have the skills and abilities, obviously. But the piece underneath that is to build networks, get to know people, and people who know you, who can support you, who you can even sort of call up and say, gee, I've been offered this, what do you think? And who know you well enough to kind of say, no, I don't think you're crazy for thinking about doing that or whatever. And that network will hold you in good stead when you are in a leadership position. Because again, things are going to go up and down, and it's necessary to have a network. And then as a leader, you want to know who's on your team, and you need to have really good relationships with those people. And I would say you would want someone on your team who doesn't necessarily think the way you do, as a kind of, not an oppositional kind of person, but someone who will just say, well, no, I thought of it in a different way. And so that you've got more ideas and more possibilities as a group, and obviously as a leader. I can think of a couple. I'm really proud that I was a full-time comprehensive rural generalist family doc for most of the first 20 years of my career. And that I maintained a broad scope of practice and was still well skilled in all of those things. When I left full-time practice, I was given the amazing opportunity to help develop the program at the Northern Ontario School of Medicine. That's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And to be able to be sort of up close with medical education and academics was a place that here's an example. I'd not imagined myself doing that, and yet other people thought that I could, so I took it on. And then that led to, in this time I've been at the University of Alberta, I'm very proud of the fact that I developed and implemented several rural medical education programs that are now showing wonderful results, in the sense that sort of 50% or more of the students that do either of those two programs end up in rural practice. It's the best outcomes of any of the programs at University of Alberta. I would just encourage everybody, if opportunities come along, grab them. You never know where it'll take you.